What if the routines that currently define your days, the ones you perform on near autopilot, hold the hidden key to unlocking an extraordinary level of personal power and achievement? Most people see their daily routines as mundane necessities or, at best, neutral backdrops to their lives. But the truth is, these repetitive actions are either silently draining your potential or they can be meticulously transformed into supercharged engines driving you towards your most ambitious goals. This journey is about that very transformation. We will delve into the art and science of turning your ordinary daily actions into extraordinary powerhouses of effectiveness, personal growth, and sustained success. You will learn to break free from unconscious cycles, redesign your daily blueprint with intention, anchor your new habits with profound purpose, and build a powerful identity through these transformed actions. The ability to master this transformation is within you. Habit Transformer, turn daily routines into powerhouses, written and published by Brainpower Blueprint. Chapter 1. Break the Autopilot Cycle. Imagine a skilled driver navigating a familiar route. Initially, they were highly conscious of every turn, every signal, every adjustment of the wheel. But over time, the journey becomes so ingrained that they can complete it almost without thinking, their mind wandering elsewhere. While this autopilot can be efficient for simple, repetitive tasks, what happens when large portions of our lives are lived this way? Our mornings, our work habits, our interactions, even our leisure time unfolding as a series of unexamined, automatic routines. Many of us exist in this state far more than we realize, caught in an autopilot cycle where days blur into weeks and weeks into months, all filled with actions performed out of habit rather than conscious intent. The problem is that while this autopilot mode conserves mental energy, it can also lead to a life lived by default rather than by design. We may find ourselves stuck in unproductive patterns, missing opportunities for growth, feeling a general sense of stagnation, or simply being unaware of how our daily actions are subtly shaping our mood, our health, and our overall trajectory. We become passengers in our own lives, reacting to ingrained cues rather than proactively choosing our path, often wondering why we feel unfulfilled or why our significant goals remain tantalizingly out of reach. This unexamined existence means our daily routines, instead of serving us, may actually be holding us back. The transformative solution is to intentionally break the autopilot cycle by cultivating profound self-awareness and embracing conscious engagement with your daily actions. This means deliberately shifting from a state of mindless repetition to one of mindful observation and intentional choice, becoming an active participant in the routines that make up your life. The core idea is that you cannot transform what you do not first understand. By shining the light of awareness on your existing habits and routines, you begin to see them clearly, their triggers, their consequences, and the underlying needs they might be ineffectively trying to meet. This conscious interruption is the crucial first step towards reclaiming your agency and transforming your routines from unconscious scripts into powerful tools for personal and professional development. The benefits are immediate and far-reaching: a heightened sense of control, the ability to identify and discard unproductive patterns, a clearer understanding of your own motivations, and the empowering realization that you have the ability to consciously shape your daily experience and, by extension, your future. It's like the driver suddenly becoming fully present on that familiar route, noticing new details, making more deliberate choices, and perhaps even discovering more scenic or efficient paths they'd never seen before. The foundational step in breaking the autopilot cycle is to practice mindful observation of your daily actions. This isn't about judging yourself or immediately trying to change everything. It's simply about noticing, with gentle curiosity, what you actually do throughout your day. For a week, try to bring a new level of attention to your common routines. What's the very first thing you do when you wake up? How do you typically spend your first hour? What are your default behaviors when you feel bored, stressed, or tired? How do you transition between tasks at work? What does your evening routine look like? You might be surprised by what you discover. Perhaps you automatically reach for your phone and scroll for 30 minutes upon waking, or you always grab an unhealthy snack mid-afternoon without even feeling truly hungry. The aim is to make the invisible visible. This practice works because it brings unconscious behaviors into conscious awareness, which is the only place from which you can make a deliberate choice to change them. In practice, you could set gentle reminders on your phone at various points in the day, say mid-morning, lunchtime, mid-afternoon, early evening, with a simple prompt: what am I doing right now, and why? Once you begin to observe, the next step is to conduct a routine audit to identify zombie habits. Zombie habits are those actions you perform completely on autopilot, often without any real benefit or alignment with your goals, simply because they're ingrained. As you observe your routines, ask yourself for each significant recurring action: what is the purpose of this action? Does it genuinely serve me? Does it align with my values or goals? What are its actual consequences, both immediate and long-term? For example, that habitual 30-minute social media scroll in the morning, a zombie habit for many, does it make you feel energized and ready for the day, or does it leave you feeling distracted and slightly anxious? Does your automatic way of responding to emails, e.g., instantly, regardless of what you're doing, serve your productivity, or does it fragment your focus? This critical evaluation works because it helps you differentiate between routines that are genuinely useful and those that are simply an artifact of past conditioning, consuming your time and energy without providing real value. This allows you to make informed decisions about which habits to keep, which to modify, and which to discard. Understanding the true cost of autopilot living can provide powerful motivation to break the cycle. While autopilot conserves mental energy in the short term, its long-term costs can be significant. Missed opportunities for learning and growth, strained relationships due to mindless interactions, compromised health from unthinking choices, and a pervasive sense of unfulfillment, or is this all there is? Consider the cumulative effect of small, mindless actions repeated over years. That daily hour of unthinking TV might add up to thousands of hours that could have been invested in a skill, a passion project, or quality time with loved ones. Reflect on areas of your life where you feel stuck or dissatisfied. Is it possible that autopilot routines are contributing to this? This reflection is effective because it connects your daily, often seemingly insignificant habits to your larger life outcomes, highlighting the importance of conscious choice and intentional action. It raises the stakes and makes the effort of breaking the autopilot cycle feel worthwhile. The crucial first active step to break the cycle is to make the deliberate choice to engage consciously in one small routine. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Pick one small, habitual part of your day. Perhaps the way you drink your morning coffee, the first 10 minutes after you get home from work, or the way you prepare a meal, and commit to being fully present and intentional during that activity for a set period, say 1 week. If it's drinking coffee, notice the aroma, the warmth, the taste, instead of gulping it down while scrolling on your phone. If it's the 10 minutes after work, consciously choose an activity that helps you decompress and transition rather than automatically slumping onto the couch. This practice of injecting consciousness into one small area works because it builds your mindfulness muscle and proves to you that you can shift out of autopilot. It creates a small win, a foothold of conscious engagement from which you can expand. It demonstrates that intentionality is a choice you can make, moment by moment. Consider Sarah, who realized her mornings were a blur of autopilot actions that left her feeling rushed and unprepared for the day. She'd hit snooze multiple times, then scroll social media in bed, then rush through getting ready. She started by mindfully observing this routine and identified the scrolling as a major zombie habit. She then audited it. This scrolling doesn't make me feel good, it just wastes time and makes me anxious. She understood the cost: less sleep, a stressful start, and reduced productivity. She then chose to consciously engage with just the first 10 minutes of her day. Instead of scrolling, she decided to sit quietly and sip a glass of water, thinking about one thing she was grateful for. This small conscious shift dramatically changed the tone of her mornings, making her feel calmer and more in control, and provided the motivation to examine other autopilot cycles in her life. Breaking the autopilot cycle is about waking up to your own life, reclaiming your attention, and recognizing that your daily routines are not fixed and unchangeable, but are opportunities for conscious creation. It's the empowering first step in transforming those routines from mindless repetitions into genuine powerhouses of effectiveness. But once you've broken free from these unconscious patterns, how do you go about intentionally redesigning your daily actions to truly serve your highest aspirations? Now that you are committed to breaking free from the autopilot that governs so many daily actions, are you ready to learn how to meticulously examine and thoughtfully reconstruct your routines, transforming them from inefficient or unhelpful patterns into a powerful, personalized blueprint for daily success? The next chapter will guide you through the art of redesigning your daily blueprint. Remember to subscribe to Brainpower Blueprint, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 2. Redesign your daily blueprint. Imagine you've inherited an old house. It's structurally sound, but the layout is awkward, the rooms are cluttered with outdated fixtures, and the flow is inefficient for modern living. You wouldn't just continue living in it as is. You'd bring in an architect to redesign the blueprint, to reconfigure the space to better suit your needs and aspirations, transforming it into a functional and inspiring home. Similarly, having broken the autopilot cycle and become aware of your existing daily routines, you now have the opportunity to act as the architect of your own life, redesigning your daily blueprint to transform it from a collection of possibly inefficient or misaligned habits into a powerhouse of productivity and purpose. The problem many people face after realizing their routines aren't serving them is a lack of clarity or strategy on how to effectively change them. They might see that their current morning routine is chaotic or their evening routine is draining, but they feel overwhelmed by the prospect of overhauling them, or they make piecemeal changes that don't create lasting impact. Without a deliberate redesign process, old inefficiencies can creep back in, or new, well-intentioned habits might not integrate smoothly, leaving you with a daily structure that still falls short of its potential to empower you. The transformative solution is to engage in routine re-engineering for peak performance, a systematic process of analyzing your existing daily flows and strategically redesigning them to eliminate inefficiencies, incorporate high-value activities, and create a seamless structure that consistently supports your well-being and propels you towards your goals. This means looking at your day not as a series of disconnected actions, but as an interconnected system that can be optimized for maximum positive impact. The core idea is that just as engineers refine systems for optimal output, you can refine your daily routines to generate more energy, focus, and accomplishment. By thoughtfully re-engineering your daily blueprint, you create a life that flows with greater ease and intention, where your routines actively work for you rather than against you. The benefits are a significant boost in productivity, reduced stress from a more streamlined day, more time and energy for what truly matters, and a profound sense of control and empowerment as you consciously craft a daily experience that reflects your best self. It's like transforming that old, awkward house into a custom-designed home where every space is optimized for your thriving. The first step in redesigning your daily blueprint is to identify key leverage points and inefficiencies in your current routines. Based on your observations from breaking the autopilot cycle, pinpoint specific parts of your day that feel particularly unproductive, stressful, or misaligned with your goals. Where are you consistently losing time? What activities drain your energy without providing significant value? Conversely, are there moments in your day that, if slightly altered or enhanced, could have a disproportionately positive impact? For example, you might realize that the first 30 minutes of your workday are often wasted due to a lack of a clear plan, or that your commute, currently a source of frustration, could be transformed into a learning opportunity. Perhaps your evening routine leaves you feeling unprepared for the next day. This detailed diagnosis works because it helps you focus your redesign efforts where they will yield the greatest returns, rather than trying to change everything at once. You're looking for the critical path or the bottlenecks in your daily system. Once you've identified these areas, the next stage is to strategically incorporate keystone habits and apply habit stacking to your redesigned flow. A keystone habit, a term coined by Charles Duhigg, is a single habit that, when adopted, tends to spark a chain reaction, leading to the spontaneous development of other positive habits and improvements. For instance, regular exercise is often a keystone habit. People who start exercising often find themselves naturally eating healthier and sleeping better. As you redesign your blueprint, consider if there's a keystone habit you can introduce that will have a cascading positive effect. Then, use habit stacking, as discussed in previous contexts but crucial here for redesigning existing flows, to integrate new, desired actions seamlessly into your re-engineered routines. Link a new behavior you want to adopt to an already established part of your, perhaps newly modified, routine. For example, if you've redesigned your morning to include 10 minutes of quiet reflection, a new leverage point, you might stack onto that. After my 10 minutes of reflection, I will spend 5 minutes reviewing my top 3 priorities for the day. This works because keystone habits create broad positive shifts with relatively focused effort, and habit stacking makes the adoption of new specific actions smoother by anchoring them to existing behaviors within your redesigned structure. A vital part of routine re-engineering is environment design to support your transformed routines. Your physical and digital environments are powerful silent partners in your habits. As you redesign your daily blueprint, consciously modify your surroundings to make your desired new routines easier and more appealing, and to make old, unwanted patterns harder to fall back into. If your redesigned morning routine includes reading, create an inviting reading nook with good lighting and comfortable seating, and place your book there the night before. If you're aiming to transform your evenings from passive screen time to active relaxation or learning, you might set up a no-tech zone in your living room after a certain hour, or have your learning materials easily accessible. If you're redesigning your workspace routine for better focus, clear clutter, organize your digital files, and use tools that minimize distractions. This principle is effective because it reduces the friction for your desired behaviors and increases it for undesired ones, making your redesigned blueprint much easier to follow consistently. Your environment becomes an active participant in your transformation. To ensure your redesigned blueprint translates into consistent action, implement time blocking and strategic scheduling for key activities. A redesigned routine is only powerful if it's actually executed. Time blocking involves dedicating specific blocks of time in your day for your most important activities and habits, treating them as non-negotiable appointments. For example, your redesigned morning blueprint might include a 30-minute block for focused work on most important tasks before you even check emails. Your redesigned evening routine might include a 20-minute block for planning and preparation for tomorrow. Be realistic about how much time things take and build in small buffers. This rigorous scheduling works because it provides a clear structure for your day, protects your time for high-value activities, and reduces the likelihood that your important new routines will get squeezed out by urgent but less important demands. It makes your commitment tangible and visible in your schedule. Consider Alex, whose previous work-from-home routine was chaotic. He'd start his day by immediately checking emails and news, leading to a reactive and unproductive morning, inefficiency. He decided to re-engineer his morning blueprint. His leverage point was the first 90 minutes. His keystone habit became a 20-minute morning walk to clear his head. He then habit stacked. After my walk, I will drink a glass of water and spend 5 minutes meditating. After meditating, I will work for 60 minutes on my single most important task before checking any communication. He designed his environment by putting his walking shoes by the door the night before and setting his phone to Do Not Disturb for that first 90-minute block. He time-blocked Deep Work Session 1 from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. This redesign transformed his mornings from a source of stress into a powerhouse of focus and productivity. Redesigning your daily blueprint is about taking conscious control of the structure of your days, optimizing your routines so that they actively support your energy, focus, and goals. It's about transforming your day from a series of reactions into a symphony of intentional actions. But how do you ensure that these beautifully redesigned routines are powered by a deep sense of meaning, making them not just efficient, but truly fulfilling? Now that you are equipped to re-engineer your daily routines into a more effective and streamlined blueprint, how do you infuse these actions with a profound sense of why, ensuring they are not just tasks you perform, but meaningful expressions of your deepest values and aspirations? The next chapter will guide you to anchor your habits with unwavering purpose. Remember to subscribe to Brainpower Blueprint, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 3. Anchor Habits with Purpose. Imagine a magnificent ship, newly redesigned and perfectly engineered for a long voyage. It has a strong hull, powerful engines, and a skilled crew. Yet without a clear destination, without a compelling purpose for its journey, it risks drifting aimlessly, its capabilities squandered, its crew uninspired. Similarly, you may have successfully broken free from autopilot cycles and meticulously redesigned your daily blueprint, transforming your routines into models of efficiency. But if these re-engineered habits are not deeply anchored to a strong sense of purpose, they can begin to feel like mere obligations, a series of tasks to be checked off a list rather than meaningful steps towards a valued destination. The problem many encounter, even with well-structured routines, is a lack of sustained motivation because the why behind their actions is weak, vague, or disconnected from their core values. When initial enthusiasm fades, or when challenges inevitably arise, habits lacking a deep purpose are the first to be abandoned. They feel hollow, like empty rituals, rather than an integral part of a fulfilling life. This lack of a profound why can prevent your transformed routines from truly becoming powerhouses of sustained positive change. The transformative solution is to engage in purpose-driven habit infusion, a conscious process of connecting every significant daily routine and habit to your core values, your deepest aspirations, and the meaningful impact you wish to create in your life and the lives of others. This means going beyond the functional benefits of a habit to understand and articulate its intrinsic value in the context of what truly matters to you. The core idea is that habits fueled by a strong sense of purpose are infinitely more resilient, motivating, and sustainable than those driven by fleeting desires or external pressures alone. When your daily actions are aligned with your why, they cease to be chores and become expressions of your deepest self. The benefits are a dramatic increase in intrinsic motivation, greater persistence in the face of obstacles, a heightened sense of meaning and fulfillment from your daily activities, and a more profound and lasting transformation. Your routines become not just efficient, but also deeply resonant and energizing. It's like the ship that not only has a perfect design, but also a clear, inspiring destination that galvanizes the entire crew and makes every nautical mile meaningful. The first essential step in anchoring habits with purpose is to clearly identify and articulate your core personal and professional values. Values are the fundamental principles that guide your behavior and tell you what is truly important and meaningful in life. Examples might include integrity, growth, contribution, connection, creativity, well-being, knowledge, or freedom. Take some dedicated time for self-reflection to uncover your top 3 to 5 core values. Ask yourself, what qualities do I admire most in others? What principles would I stand up for? When have I felt most alive and authentic? What do I want my life to represent? Writing these values down and even defining what each one means to you personally provides a crucial foundation. This process works because your core values act as an internal compass. Understanding them allows you to assess whether your habits and goals are truly aligned with what you deem most important, which is the bedrock of purpose-driven action. Once your core values are clear, the next step is to systematically link your key transformed routines to these values and your larger goals. For each significant habit or redesigned routine in your daily blueprint, ask yourself explicitly, How does this specific action serve or express one or more of my core values? How does this routine move me closer to a meaningful long-term goal that is itself aligned with my values? Make these connections as concrete as possible. For example, if one of your core values is lifelong learning, and you have a redesigned routine that includes 30 minutes of daily reading, the link is clear. This reading habit directly serves my value of lifelong learning and helps me achieve my goal of becoming more knowledgeable in my field. If your value is well-being and your habit is daily exercise, the connection is, this exercise routine expresses my commitment to my well-being and gives me the energy to pursue my other goals. This conscious linking works because it imbues your habits with a deeper layer of significance. They are no longer just tasks. They are active demonstrations of what you stand for. To further solidify this connection, craft a purpose statement or intention for your key routines. This doesn't need to be lengthy or elaborate. A simple sentence or two that articulates the deeper why behind a habit can be incredibly powerful. Before you engage in a key routine, you can mentally or even audibly state your intention. For example, before your morning meditation routine, your purpose statement might be, I am meditating to cultivate inner calm and clarity, values, well-being, focus, so I can approach my day with greater presence and effectiveness, goal. Before a routine focused on deep work, it might be, I am engaging in this focused work session to create something of high value, excellence, contribution, that moves me closer to my professional aspirations, goal. Writing these purpose statements down and reviewing them occasionally can be very effective. This works because it primes your mind, setting a clear intention and reminding you of the deeper meaning before you even begin the action, which can significantly boost motivation, especially when you don't feel like doing it. A crucial practice is to regularly revisit and reconnect with your purpose, especially during challenges. Your sense of purpose is not a set-it-and-forget-it feature. It needs to be nurtured. There will be days when your motivation wanes, when resistance is high, or when external pressures make it difficult to stick to your routines. In these moments, consciously bring to mind the deeper values and goals that your habits serve. Remind yourself of your why. Ask, even though this feels difficult right now, how will performing this action honor my values and contribute to what truly matters to me? For example, if you're tired and tempted to skip a planned healthy meal preparation routine, reconnecting with your value of health and vitality and your goal of having sustained energy for my family and work can provide the necessary impetus to follow through. This practice works because it leverages your most profound motivators to overcome temporary discomfort or apathy. Your purpose becomes a powerful anchor that holds you steady when the immediate desire to quit is strong. Consider Maria, who had redesigned her evening routine to include 30 minutes of learning a new skill online. Initially, she was enthusiastic, but after a few weeks, she often felt too tired after work. Her purpose infusion process involved identifying that this habit served her core values of personal growth and adaptability, and her long-term goal of remaining relevant and valuable in her fast-changing career. Her purpose statement for this routine became, I dedicate this time to learning because I am committed to continuous growth and to building a secure and fulfilling future. When she felt tired, she would recall this statement. She also linked it to the feeling of satisfaction and increased confidence she experienced after each learning session. This deep anchoring allowed her to overcome her nightly fatigue far more often than before, transforming a potentially fragile new routine into a powerful, purpose-driven habit. Anchoring your habits with purpose transforms them from mere actions into meaningful rituals that express your deepest values and propel you towards your most significant aspirations. It provides an inexhaustible source of intrinsic motivation that willpower alone can never match. This makes your daily routines not just things you do, but vital expressions of who you are and who you are becoming. But how does this consistent, purposeful action then feed back into shaping your very identity? Now that your daily routines are not only redesigned for efficiency, but also deeply anchored to a compelling purpose, how can you leverage these powerful, consistent actions to forge an even stronger, more resilient, and more capable sense of self. The next chapter explores the profound connection between building identity through purposeful action. Remember to subscribe to Brainpower Blueprint, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 4. Build Identity Through Action. Imagine a sculptor meticulously chipping away at a block of marble. With each carefully considered strike of the chisel, the formless stone begins to take on a distinct shape, eventually revealing the powerful figure he envisioned within. In much the same way, your daily actions, especially those routines you have consciously redesigned and anchored with purpose, are the tools with which you sculpt your own identity. You've journeyed to break free from autopilot, re-engineered your daily blueprint, and infused your habits with profound meaning. Now it's time to understand how these transformed daily actions become the very bedrock upon which a new, more empowered identity is built. The problem many individuals face, even when consistently performing positive new habits, is a lingering sense of disconnect between their actions and their core self-concept. They might be doing things differently, but they haven't fully internalized these changes as part of who they are. This imposter syndrome can make new behaviors feel fragile or inauthentic, as if they are merely playing a role. Without consciously linking these purposeful actions to a developing identity, the transformative power of habits remains incomplete, and there's a risk of reverting to old self-perceptions and corresponding behaviors when faced with significant stress or self-doubt. The transformative solution is to actively engage in identity forging through transformed routines, a process where you intentionally use the consistent execution of your powerful, purpose-driven daily actions as tangible evidence and deliberate reinforcement of the new, more capable, and more aligned identity you are choosing to become. This means seeing every successfully completed purposeful routine not just as a task done, but as a vote cast for the kind of person you aspire to be. The core idea, drawing from the work of identity-based habit experts like James Clear, is that your habits are how you embody a particular identity. You first decide the type of person you want to be, and then you prove it to yourself with small wins, your consistent, purposeful actions. The benefits of this approach are immense. Your new habits become deeply ingrained and intrinsically motivated because they are expressions of your authentic self. Your self-confidence and self-efficacy soar as you accumulate evidence of your new identity, and you create a powerful virtuous cycle where your actions shape your identity, and your evolving identity, in turn, fuels further positive action, making your transformed routines truly unstoppable powerhouses. It's like the sculptor not only revealing the figure, but also becoming one with the strength and vision embodied in their creation. The foundational step in building identity through action is to clearly define the desired identity that your transformed routines support. This goes a step beyond identifying the purpose of a single habit. It's about articulating the overarching persona that a collection of your powerhouse routines helps to build. Ask yourself, given the purposeful routines I am now cultivating, who am I becoming? What kind of person consistently does these things? For example, if you've transformed your mornings into a focused period of learning and deep work, your desired identity might be, I am a disciplined, highly productive individual committed to mastery. If your redesigned evenings prioritize connection and reflection, your identity might be, I am a present, thoughtful, and emotionally intelligent person. Phrase these identity statements in the present tense, focusing on the type of person. For example, I am someone who prioritizes my health, rather than just, I want to be healthy. This works because it provides a clear and compelling self-concept for your actions to align with and reinforce. It shifts the focus from merely doing tasks to being a certain kind of person. Once you've defined this target identity, the next crucial action is to consciously acknowledge each transformed routine as evidence supporting this identity. Every time you successfully complete one of your purpose-driven routines, take a brief moment to mentally connect that action back to your desired identity. Don't just tick it off a list. Say to yourself, I just completed my focused morning writing routine. This is what a disciplined and productive writer does. This is who I am becoming. Or, I just chose the healthy meal option instead of the convenient junk food. That's a decision a healthy and energetic person makes. I am that person. This conscious acknowledgement acts as a deliberate reinforcement. This process is effective because your brain is always seeking evidence to confirm its beliefs about who you are. By repeatedly providing it with proof in the form of your actions, you are actively reshaping your self-perception. Each purposeful action becomes a building block for your new identity. To deepen this identity integration, internalize the feeling and embody the characteristics of your chosen identity through your actions. As you perform your transformed routines, try to step into the mindset and emotional state of the person who embodies that identity. If your desired identity is a confident and effective communicator, then during your routine of preparing for meetings or making calls, consciously adopt a posture, tone of voice, and mental attitude that you associate with confidence and effectiveness. If your identity is a resilient problem solver, then when you encounter a challenge within your routine or outside it, approach it with the curiosity and persistence you imagine such a person would display. This isn't about being inauthentic. It's about practicing the state of being you aspire to. This works because emotions and physical states are strongly linked to identity. By practicing the feeling of your desired identity as you act, you accelerate its integration into your core self. You are essentially rehearsing and then living out your new role until it becomes your natural way of being. Furthermore, ensure your self-talk and internal narratives consistently reinforce the identity built by your powerhouse routines. Your inner dialogue is a powerful shaper of your identity. Monitor your self-talk. Does it align with the capable, purposeful person your transformed routines are helping you become? Or does it still echo old limiting self-perceptions? When you catch negative or outdated self-talk, consciously challenge it and replace it with affirmations and statements that reflect your new, emerging identity. For example, if you stumble in a new routine, instead of an old thought like, I knew I couldn't do this, an identity-aligned thought would be, as a resilient learner, desired identity, I see this as feedback and will adjust my approach. This consistent curation of your internal narrative is crucial because it ensures your inner world is in harmony with your outer actions and your aspirational identity, reducing internal conflict and solidifying the changes you're making. Consider Marcus, who transformed his previously haphazard approach to personal development into a structured daily routine of reading industry journals, practicing a new skill for 30 minutes, and journaling his insights. He defined his desired identity as, I am a proactive lifelong learner dedicated to continuous improvement and mastery. After each reading session, he would tell himself, this dedicated learning is what a proactive lifelong learner does. This is me. When tackling a difficult new concept in his skill practice, he would embody the persistence of a master in training. His self-talk shifted from, this is too hard to, as someone committed to mastery, I embrace this challenge. Over time, these consistent actions and reinforcing thoughts solidified his identity, making his daily powerhouse routine for learning feel entirely natural and indispensable to who he was. His actions didn't just give him new skills, they fundamentally changed how he saw himself. Building identity through action is the profound process by which your transformed daily routines become more than just efficient behaviors. They become the living, breathing proof of who you are choosing to be. This creates an incredibly strong foundation for lasting change, making your powerhouse habits an authentic and integral part of your empowered self. But even the most purposeful, identity-aligned routines can face internal friction. How do you consistently overcome that inevitable resistance that rears its head? Now that your transformed routines are beginning to sculpt a new, more empowered identity, how do you conquer those inevitable moments of internal pushback, procrastination, or lack of motivation that can still threaten to derail your progress? The next chapter will reveal how to defeat resistance by establishing powerful, clarifying rituals. Remember to subscribe to Brainpower Blueprint, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 5. Defeat Resistance with Rituals. Imagine a rocket on its launch pad. The most immense force and energy are required not during its journey through space, but in those initial moments to overcome Earth's gravity and achieve liftoff. Similarly, when it comes to your transformed daily routines, even those redesigned with purpose and anchored to your identity, the greatest point of friction often lies in the simple act of starting. You know what you need to do. You understand its importance, yet a powerful internal resistance can surface. Procrastination whispers, overwhelm looms, or the seductive comfort of inaction pulls you back. The problem many individuals face is this initial inertia. Despite having a clear blueprint and a strong why, the mental effort required to transition from a state of rest or a different activity into a specific, purposeful routine can feel like a monumental hurdle. This activation energy barrier is where good intentions often crumble, leading to skipped habits, broken consistency, and the frustrating feeling that, despite your best planning, you're still struggling to get your most important actions off the ground. This daily battle with starting can drain your willpower and undermine the very powerhouses you aim to build. The transformative solution is to develop ritualized action initiation, creating small, consistent, and often enjoyable pre-routine rituals that act as dedicated launch pads, smoothly and almost automatically transitioning you into your main powerhouse habits. This means designing a brief, standardized sequence of actions that you perform immediately before a key routine, effectively greasing the wheels and significantly lowering the mental barrier to entry. The core idea is that these startup rituals act as powerful psychological cues, signaling to your brain that it's time to shift gears and engage in a specific activity, much like a well-rehearsed pre-performance routine helps an athlete or musician get in the zone. By making the act of starting almost effortless and automatic through these rituals, you conserve precious willpower for the main habit itself. The benefits are a dramatic reduction in procrastination, increased consistency in performing your key routines, a smoother transition between different states or activities, and a greater sense of ease and control in initiating even challenging habits. It's like having an automated countdown sequence for your rocket, ensuring a smooth and reliable liftoff every single time. The first step in defeating resistance with rituals is to identify key routines where you consistently experience starting friction. Not every habit needs an elaborate startup ritual, but those powerhouse routines that are crucial for your goals, yet often met with internal reluctance, are prime candidates. Perhaps it's your morning deep work session, your daily exercise routine, a creative pursuit, or even a challenging learning activity. Pinpoint where you most often hesitate, procrastinate, or feel that "I don't feel like it" sensation. For example, if you've redesigned your evening to include 30 minutes of focused skill development, but often find yourself defaulting to passive entertainment instead, that's a routine that could benefit greatly from an initiation ritual. This targeted approach works because it focuses your efforts on the areas where you'll get the most significant improvement in consistency by reducing that initial activation energy. Once you've identified a candidate routine, the next step is to design a short, simple, and consistent startup ritual, 1 to 5 minutes. The ritual should be a sequence of 2 to 4 very small, easy-to-complete actions that you perform in the exact same order every time before the main habit. The key is that these actions should be so simple that there's virtually no resistance to doing them. For instance, if your main habit is a morning writing session, your startup ritual might be 1. Pour a glass of water and bring it to your desk. 2. Open your writing document. 3. Reread the last paragraph you wrote. 4. Set a timer for your session. Each of these steps is tiny and non-intimidating. The ritual shouldn't feel like a chore itself. It should feel like a gentle runway leading to the main activity. This works because it breaks down the overwhelming idea of starting a big task into a series of manageable micro-actions, creating momentum that carries you into the habit itself. A powerful aspect of effective rituals is to infuse them with enjoyment or a sense of calm to create a positive association. If your startup ritual is something you look forward to, or at least find pleasant or centering, it will be much more effective at overcoming resistance. For example, If you're building a ritual for your exercise routine, it might include listening to a specific uplifting song while you change into your workout clothes, or doing a few gentle stretches you particularly enjoy. If it's for a focused work block, your ritual could involve making your favorite type of tea or coffee, lighting a particular scented candle, if appropriate for your environment, or taking a few deep, calming breaths. This strategy is effective because it links the upcoming habit with positive sensory experiences or emotional states, making the transition more appealing and reducing the dread or reluctance you might otherwise feel. Your brain begins to associate the ritual, and by extension the habit that follows, with a pleasant or focused feeling. Crucially, the power of a ritual lies in its unyielding consistency to create an automatic cue. The startup ritual must be performed in the same way every single time before the intended powerhouse routine. This repetition is what trains your brain to recognize the ritual as the immediate precursor to the habit. Over time, the ritual itself becomes a powerful trigger, almost automatically shifting your mind and body into readiness for the main activity. Just like Pavlov's dogs learned to associate the bell with food, your brain will learn to associate your specific sequence of ritual actions with the onset of your focused work, exercise, or learning. For example, a public speaker might have a ritual of reviewing their notes in a specific way, taking 3 deep breaths and saying a silent affirmation right before stepping on stage. The consistent performance of this ritual cues their mind for performance. This consistency works because it leverages the brain's natural ability to form stimulus-response associations, making the transition into the habit smoother and less reliant on conscious effort over time. Consider Sarah, who struggled with procrastination before her planned daily hour of studying for a professional certification. Her resistance was high. She designed a startup ritual. 1. Clear her study desk completely. 2. Make a cup of herbal tea. 3. Open her textbook to the planned page and lay out her notebook and pen. 4. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. This ritual took less than 5 minutes. Clearing the desk created a sense of order. The tea was a pleasant sensory input. Opening the book made the task feel immediately accessible. The breathing calmed her. After performing this exact ritual consistently for 2 weeks, she found that by the time she took her deep breaths, her mind was already shifting into study mode, and the resistance to opening the book and starting had significantly diminished. The ritual had become the key that effortlessly unlocked her study habit. Defeating resistance with rituals is about outsmarting your own internal friction by creating an almost irresistible pathway into your most important daily actions. It's about making the act of starting so easy and automatic that your powerhouse routines can ignite with minimal effort, day after day. These rituals become your trusted allies in the quest for consistency and high performance. But while a great ritual can get you started, what ensures that the right powerhouse routine is triggered at the right time, consistently, and effectively? Having learned to craft rituals that defeat the initial resistance to starting your powerhouse routines, how do you now ensure that the cues or triggers for these routines are themselves optimized for success, reliably prompting you into action exactly when and where it matters most? The next chapter will delve into the art of upgrading your triggers. Remember to subscribe to Brainpower Blueprint, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 6. Upgrade Triggers for Success. Imagine a finely tuned instrument, perhaps a grand piano. Each key, when struck, is designed to produce a precise and beautiful note, contributing to a harmonious melody. However, if some keys are sticky, unresponsive, or if the wrong keys are accidentally hit, the resulting music will be discordant and jarring. Similarly, in the symphony of your daily life, your habits are the notes, and the triggers, those specific cues that prompt each habit, are the keys. You've been working on breaking autopilot cycles, redesigning your daily blueprint, anchoring habits with purpose, building identity through action, and even defeating resistance with rituals. But if the triggers that are meant to initiate your powerhouse routines are weak, unreliable, easily missed, or if you're still surrounded by old triggers cueing unwanted behaviors, Your carefully crafted habits may not fire consistently or effectively. The problem many people face is that they underestimate the critical role of triggers in habit formation and execution. They might have a great routine planned, but if the cue to start it is ambiguous or easily overshadowed by other stimuli, especially negative ones like the buzz of a distracting notification, the routine may never get launched. This results in inconsistent performance, missed opportunities to reinforce positive habits, and a feeling that your environment is working against your best intentions. The transformative solution is to engage in strategic trigger engineering, a conscious and systematic process of designing, refining, and optimizing the cues in your environment and your internal state to reliably and automatically initiate your desired powerhouse routines while simultaneously weakening or eliminating triggers for unwanted behaviors. This means becoming an architect of your stimulus landscape, ensuring that the signals around you consistently prompt positive action. The core idea is that by intentionally crafting powerful and obvious triggers for your good habits, and by mindfully managing the triggers for your bad ones, you can significantly increase the automaticity and consistency of your desired routines. The benefits are a dramatic improvement in habit adherence with less reliance on willpower, a daily environment that actively supports your goals, a reduction in decision fatigue regarding when and how to start your routines, and a greater sense of control as you learn to make your surroundings work for you, not against you. It's like ensuring every key on your piano is perfectly calibrated and that you are skillfully playing only the ones that create the beautiful life music you intend. The first crucial step in upgrading your triggers is to conduct a thorough audit of your existing triggers. Just as you audited your routines, you now need to examine what currently cues your behaviors, both positive and negative. For each significant habit, or lack thereof, ask, what typically precedes this action? Is it a specific time of day, a particular location, a certain emotional state, the presence of other people, or the completion of another action? For example, the trigger for your morning coffee might be waking up, time, state, or entering the kitchen, location. The trigger for checking social media might be a notification sound, external cue, or a feeling of boredom, internal cue. Be especially mindful of triggers that lead to unproductive or unwanted habits. This awareness works because it makes you conscious of the environmental and internal signals that are currently shaping your behavior, revealing which triggers are serving you and which are sabotaging you. You can't effectively re-engineer your triggers until you know what they are. Once you have a clearer picture of your current trigger landscape, the next step is to strengthen and make obvious the triggers for your desired powerhouse routines. For each positive habit you want to reinforce or build, design a trigger that is highly visible, specific, and consistently present at the moment you want the habit to occur. This is where environment design plays a massive role. If you want to make your morning workout routine, a powerhouse habit, more consistent, the trigger could be laying out your workout clothes in a very obvious place the night before. The sight of the clothes becomes a powerful visual cue. If you want to read more, make the trigger obvious by placing the book you intend to read on your pillow in the morning or on your coffee table where you relax in the evening. If a specific time is your trigger, e.g., at 1 p.m., I will take a 10-minute mindfulness break, set a clear, unambiguous alarm or calendar notification with that specific label. This works because a strong, unmissable trigger significantly reduces the chances of forgetting the habit or needing to expend mental energy deciding to do it. The cue itself does much of the work in initiating the behavior. Concurrently, you must actively weaken, remove, or repurpose triggers for unwanted or competing behaviors. It's very difficult for a new positive trigger to win if it's constantly competing with strong established triggers for old undesirable habits. Identify the cues that reliably lead to actions you want to avoid. Can you remove the trigger entirely? If you mindlessly snack whenever you see unhealthy food in the pantry, the solution is to remove those items from your pantry. Can you make the trigger less obvious or less appealing? If your phone notifications constantly derail your focus, triggering distraction, Turn off non-essential notifications or keep your phone in another room during focused work periods. Sometimes you can even repurpose an old trigger. If the urge to check email, old routine, is triggered by opening your laptop, Q, you might consciously decide that opening your laptop now triggers your most important creative task first, before email. This strategy is effective because it directly reduces the frequency of unwanted behaviors by removing or altering the signals that initiate them, creating more space and opportunity for your positive triggers to take effect. A powerful technique for ensuring your triggers lead to action is to design trigger chains or habit stacking sequences for blocks of routines. As discussed before in terms of linking individual habits, you can also think of this in terms of triggers. The completion of one powerhouse routine and its inherent reward satisfaction can become the highly reliable trigger for the next routine in a planned sequence. For example, the trigger finishing my morning coffee might cue opening my journal for 10 minutes of reflection. The trigger closing my journal might then cue opening my laptop to begin my first deep work block. This creates a seamless flow, a chain reaction of positive behaviors where each action cues the next, minimizing decision points and relying on established momentum. This is highly effective because it automates not just individual habits, but entire productive sequences, transforming blocks of your day into well-orchestrated powerhouses of activity. Consider Mark, who wanted to transform his unproductive evenings. His old trigger for watching hours of TV was finishing dinner and sitting on the couch. He audited this and realized it led to wasted time and poor sleep. He decided to upgrade his triggers. His new desired routine was 1. Plan the next day. 2. Read a chapter of a book. 3. Meditate. He strengthened the trigger for planning by placing his planner and pen on the dining table before dinner, so seeing it after eating became the cue. The trigger, closing his planner, then became the cue to pick up the book he had also strategically placed nearby. Finally, putting down the book became the trigger to go to his meditation cushion, which he set up in a quiet corner each evening. He weakened the TV trigger by keeping the remote in a drawer and not turning on the TV until after his new routine was complete, if at all. This strategic trigger engineering transformed his evenings from passive consumption to active regeneration and preparation. Upgrading your triggers for success is about becoming a master of your environmental and internal cues, ensuring they consistently and reliably launch your most important powerhouse routines. It's about making positive action the most natural and automatic response to the signals in your life. But even with perfect triggers, there will be days when progress feels slow or motivation dips. How do you keep the engine running smoothly and ensure your transformed routines continue to deliver results? Having meticulously engineered the triggers that launch your powerhouse routines, how do you now ensure that these routines remain effective, motivating, and continuously aligned with your goals by building in robust ways to monitor your progress and make necessary adjustments? The next chapter will explore how to sustain momentum through effective feedback systems. Remember to subscribe to Brainpower Blueprint. Give this video a like and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 7. Sustain momentum with feedback. Imagine an elite athlete training for a championship. They don't just practice relentlessly, they also meticulously track their performance, analyze their technique, and constantly seek feedback from their coaches. This continuous flow of information allows them to make precise adjustments, identify areas for improvement, and maintain peak motivation. Similarly, as you transform your daily routines into powerhouses, establishing strong triggers and rituals is crucial for initiation and consistency. However, to sustain momentum over the long term, to ensure your habits remain effective and engaging, and to continue evolving, you need to incorporate robust feedback mechanisms. The problem many individuals encounter, even with initially successful habits, is a gradual loss of momentum or a plateau in progress because they lack a clear way to measure their performance, recognize their achievements, or identify when adjustments are needed. Without feedback, habits can become invisible. You might be doing them, but you're not fully aware of their impact or how they could be improved. This can lead to diminishing motivation, as the connection between your daily actions and your desired outcomes becomes less apparent. Or you might unknowingly continue with a routine that is no longer optimal for your current goals. The transformative solution is to implement feedback-fueled habit dynamics, creating intentional systems for tracking, reviewing, and responding to your progress and the effectiveness of your transformed routines. This means becoming not just the architect of your habits, but also the diligent analyst and refiner, using data and reflection to keep your powerhouse routines sharp, motivating, and perfectly aligned with your aspirations. The core idea is that feedback, whether it's quantitative data, qualitative reflection, or input from others, provides the essential information needed to adapt, improve, and stay engaged with your habits over the long haul. By building these feedback loops into your daily and weekly life, you ensure that your routines remain dynamic and effective. The benefits are sustained motivation through visible progress, the ability to quickly troubleshoot and optimize underperforming habits, a deeper understanding of what truly works for you, and the continuous evolution of your routines into even more powerful engines for success. It's like giving your personal growth system a sophisticated dashboard and a responsive steering mechanism, allowing you to navigate towards your goals with ever-increasing precision and enthusiasm. The first essential step in creating feedback-fueled dynamics is to choose meaningful metrics and simple tracking methods for your key habits. For each powerhouse routine you're cultivating, identify one or two simple, measurable indicators of progress or consistency. The key is meaningful. The metric should reflect what you actually want to achieve with that habit. If your habit is daily writing, your metric might be word count or simply a checkmark for session completed. If it's exercise, it could be duration, distance, or frequency. If it's a learning habit, it might be modules completed or hours practiced. Then choose a simple, low-friction method for tracking this metric. This could be a dedicated habit tracking app, a physical journal or planner, a spreadsheet, or even a visual wall calendar where you mark off successful days. The simpler the tracking method, the more likely you are to stick with it. This works because the act of measuring something brings it to your attention and makes your progress, or lack thereof, tangible and visible, which is inherently motivating and informative. Once you are tracking, it's vital to establish regular review schedules to analyze your feedback. Collecting data is only useful if you actually use it. Set aside specific times, perhaps daily for a quick check-in, weekly for a more thorough review, and monthly or quarterly for a bigger picture assessment to look at your tracked progress. During your weekly review, for example, you might look at your habit tracker and ask, how consistent was I with my key routines this week? What patterns do I see? Were there any days or habits where I particularly struggled? What were my successes? This regular review process works because it allows you to spot trends, identify challenges early, and celebrate your achievements, all of which are crucial for maintaining momentum and making informed adjustments. It prevents you from drifting off course unknowingly. A critical function of feedback is to use it to troubleshoot, adapt, and optimize your routines. When your review reveals that a particular habit is consistently being missed or feels ineffective, don't just get discouraged. Use this as feedback that your current approach or system needs adjustment. Perhaps the habit is still too ambitious. Break it down further. Maybe the trigger isn't strong enough. Upgrade it. Perhaps your environment isn't supportive. Redesign it. Or maybe your purpose for that habit has become unclear. Reconnect with it. For example, if your feedback shows you're consistently skipping your planned 30-minute evening reading routine, you might experiment with reducing it to 15 minutes, changing the time, or picking a different genre of book. This iterative process of trying something, getting feedback, and adjusting is how you fine-tune your habits to perfectly fit your life and goals. This is effective because it turns setbacks into learning opportunities, fostering a resilient, problem-solving approach to habit cultivation rather than a rigid, all-or-nothing mentality. Don't forget to actively celebrate progress and milestones revealed by your feedback. Positive reinforcement is a powerful fuel for sustained motivation. When your feedback system shows you've achieved a certain streak of consistency, reached a particular goal related to a habit, e.g., ran your first 5K, finished a challenging book, meditated for 30 days straight, take the time to acknowledge and celebrate that achievement in a way that is meaningful to you. This doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be sharing your success with a supportive friend, treating yourself to a small indulgence related to your goal, or simply taking a moment for heartfelt self-appreciation. This works because it links positive emotions and rewards to your efforts, reinforcing the desired behaviors and making you more likely to continue them. It makes the journey of habit transformation enjoyable and rewarding in itself. Consider David, who transformed his haphazard approach to client follow-up into a daily powerhouse routine. His metric was number of personalized follow-up emails sent per day. He used a simple tally sheet. Every Friday afternoon, review schedule, he'd look at his week's numbers. If they were consistently meeting his target of 5 per day, he'd feel a sense of accomplishment, celebration. If he noticed a dip on certain days, he'd troubleshoot. Was I too busy with other tasks? Did I lack the necessary client information? This feedback led him to adjust his system, perhaps by batching his follow-ups at a specific time or preparing his list the night before. This feedback loop kept his routine effective and his motivation high, significantly boosting his client retention. Or think of Lisa, whose routine was to learn a new coding language. She tracked minutes of focused practice per day. Her weekly review showed she was consistent but felt her learning was slow. This feedback prompted her to seek a different learning resource, adaptation, and to join an online forum for that language to get feedback on her small coding projects, seeking external feedback. This helped her break through her plateau. Sustaining momentum with feedback is about creating a responsive, intelligent system for your personal growth. It ensures that your transformed routines don't just run on autopilot, but are constantly being monitored, refined, and celebrated, keeping them vibrant, effective, and aligned with your journey towards turning them into true sources of power. But how do you ultimately ensure that this entire ecosystem of transformed habits collectively elevates your life to a new plane of existence? Having learned to create robust feedback loops that keep your habits sharp and your motivation high, are you now ready to synthesize all these transformative principles into a cohesive approach where your daily routines don't just function effectively, but collectively generate an extraordinary level of personal power and mastery in your life? The final chapter will illuminate how to truly transform your routines into enduring power. Chapter 8. Transform routines into power. Imagine a master weaver at a loom. Individually, each thread may seem delicate, perhaps even insignificant. But as the weaver skillfully intertwines thousands of these threads, following an intricate design, a strong, beautiful, and highly functional tapestry emerges, a creation far greater than the sum of its individual parts. Throughout this journey, you have been learning to select, refine, and weave the individual threads of your daily actions, breaking autopilot cycles, redesigning your blueprint, anchoring habits with purpose, building identity, defeating resistance with rituals, upgrading triggers, and sustaining momentum with feedback. The ultimate culmination of this work is not just to have a collection of well-functioning habits, but to witness them synergize, transforming your entire daily experience into an undeniable source of personal power, resilience, and profound effectiveness. The problem that can persist, even for those with many good habits, is failing to recognize or harness this collective power. They might see their habits in isolation, the exercise routine, the learning habit, the morning ritual, without fully appreciating how these interconnected routines, when consciously orchestrated, create an amplified, holistic impact on their energy, focus, creativity, and overall capacity to thrive and lead. Without this understanding, the true potential of a life built on transformed routines, its capacity to become a veritable powerhouse, remains partially untapped. The transformative solution is to achieve embodied routine alchemy, a state where your entire system of consciously crafted and purpose-driven daily routines works in concert, generating a powerful, self-reinforcing cycle of energy, focus, growth, and achievement that permeates every aspect of your life. This is about moving beyond optimizing individual habits to cultivating a lifestyle where your daily structure itself becomes a dynamic engine for personal mastery and profound impact. The core idea is that when your key routines are strategically designed and harmoniously integrated, they create a synergistic effect, each habit supporting and amplifying the others, leading to an exponential increase in your overall effectiveness and well-being. The benefits are a sustained high level of energy and mental clarity throughout your day, an enhanced ability to achieve complex long-term goals, profound resilience in the face of adversity, a continuous expansion of your skills and knowledge, and a deep abiding sense of control and purpose. It's the weaver stepping back to see not just threads, but a magnificent tapestry that tells the story of a life intentionally and powerfully lived. A fundamental principle of transforming routines into power is recognizing and leveraging the compounding effect of multiple powerhouse routines. Just as compound interest grows money exponentially, the consistent execution of several well-designed, interconnected positive habits creates a compounding positive effect on your life. For example, a morning routine that includes exercise, mindfulness, and focused work not only achieves those specific outcomes but also boosts your energy, clarity, and productivity for the entire rest of the day, making all subsequent tasks easier and more effective. A consistent evening routine that prioritizes winding down, reflection, and preparation for the next day improves sleep quality, which in turn enhances cognitive function, emotional regulation, and physical health the following day. Actively look for these synergistic connections. How does your morning routine set you up for a better workday? How does your learning habit enhance your problem-solving skills in other areas? This understanding works because it motivates you to maintain your entire system of habits, recognizing that their collective power is far greater than the sum of their individual benefits. Another key is to actively use your routines for strategic energy management, not just task management. Many people design routines to get more done, which is valuable. But true power comes when your routines also systematically manage and replenish your physical, mental, and emotional energy. This means incorporating habits that build energy, e.g. proper nutrition, exercise, adequate sleep, protect focus, e.g. minimizing distractions, deep work blocks, and promote emotional renewal, e.g. mindfulness, gratitude practice, quality connection with loved ones, time in nature. For instance, your daily blueprint might include short energy renewal breaks between intense work blocks, or a non-negotiable wind-down routine in the evening to ensure restorative sleep. This is effective because sustained high performance is impossible without strategic energy management. By making energy renewal an integral part of your routines, you ensure you have the vitality to execute all your other habits effectively and to meet life's demands with resilience. Your routines become sources of sustainable power. Furthermore, design and utilize your routines to build deep skills and regularly access flow states. Powerhouse routines are not just about maintenance. They are about growth and peak experience. Identify the key skills crucial for your long-term goals and intentionally build routines that facilitate deliberate practice and deep immersion in these areas. When you consistently engage in challenging activities that stretch your abilities within a structured routine, you are more likely to experience flow, that deeply satisfying state of complete absorption where you perform at your best and time seems to disappear. A writer might have a daily, deep writing routine, an athlete a focused training routine, a coder a concentrated development routine. This works because routines provide the structure and consistency needed for the focused effort that leads to skill mastery and the optimal conditions that often precede flow states. Achieving flow regularly is not only highly productive but also incredibly intrinsically motivating, making your routines sources of deep satisfaction and power. Your transformed routines also serve as a foundation for creativity, innovation, and proactive problem-solving. While routines provide structure, this very structure can paradoxically free up mental space for higher-level thinking. When your foundational daily actions are largely automated and efficient, your conscious mind is less burdened with mundane decisions and can therefore dedicate more resources to creative thought, strategic planning, and innovative problem solving. For example, having a highly effective morning routine that gets you into a state of focus and clarity can make you much more creative and insightful when you tackle your most important work. This is powerful because it turns your daily structure from a potential constraint into a launch pad for your best thinking and most innovative ideas. Your routines create the stable platform from which you can leap into creative exploration. Finally, recognize and leverage your system of transformed routines as your primary source of stability, resilience, and control in a chaotic world. Life is unpredictable, and external circumstances can often feel overwhelming. Your intentionally crafted daily routines, consistently performed, provide an anchor of stability and a sense of personal control, regardless of external chaos. When things get tough, falling back on your established positive habits, your exercise routine, your mindfulness practice, your learning habit, can provide comfort, perspective, and the strength to navigate adversity. For instance, during a period of intense work pressure or personal challenge, maintaining your core health and reflection routines can be the key to preserving your well-being and resilience. This is because these routines are familiar, reliable sources of positive feedback and internal regulation, helping you to stay grounded and resourceful even when everything around you seems uncertain. They become your personal power station, always there to recharge you. Consider an experienced leader, Elena. Her days are demanding and unpredictable. However, her power comes from a deeply integrated system of routines. Her non-negotiable morning routine, meditation, journaling, strategic thinking, centers her and sets a proactive tone. Her work routines incorporate blocks for deep work, collaborative sessions, and even thinking time. Her evening routine focuses on family connection and winding down to ensure quality sleep. These routines are not rigid. They are flexible frameworks that manage her energy, facilitate deep work, provide stability, and free her mind to handle complex strategic challenges with clarity and creativity. Her routines don't just help her get things done. They are the very source of her sustained leadership power and personal well-being. Her entire life is a testament to how transformed routines coalesce into profound, embodied power. Transforming your routines into genuine powerhouses is the pinnacle of habit mastery. It's where your daily actions cease to be a collection of separate efforts and merge into a synergistic force that propels you towards a life of exceptional achievement, resilience, and fulfillment. This is not about a rigid, joyless existence. It's about creating a life rhythm that is so deeply aligned with your values and goals that it feels both effortless and extraordinarily potent. The daily habits you've so carefully crafted are now more than just routines. They are the very expression of your power to consciously create the life you choose to live, day by intentional day. This exploration of the habit transformer has guided you from breaking the chains of autopilot living to meticulously redesigning your daily blueprint, anchoring your actions with profound purpose, and forging a new identity through those purposeful routines. You've learned to defeat resistance with empowering rituals, upgrade your triggers for consistent success, and sustain your momentum with vital feedback loops. The culmination is the understanding that these transformed routines, woven together, are not just individual threads, but a magnificent tapestry of personal power. The principles shared are a lifelong toolkit for continuous growth and adaptation. Remember, you are the weaver of your days. With conscious intention and consistent practice, your daily routines will become enduring powerhouses, shaping a life of extraordinary achievement and deep fulfillment. Thank you for dedicating your time and energy to Habit Transformer, turn daily routines into powerhouses. We sincerely hope this journey has empowered you with the insights and practical strategies needed to fundamentally reshape your daily life, turning mundane actions into dynamic engines for success and well-being. The ability to transform your routines is a superpower, and you now hold the keys to unlocking it. We are grateful you chose to spend this time with us. If this audiobook has resonated with you and sparked a desire for transformation, please consider showing your support by liking this video, sharing your most valuable takeaways or questions in the comments below, and subscribing to Brainpower Blueprint for more content designed to help you master your habits and unlock your fullest potential. Your engagement fuels our mission to bring these transformative ideas to the world.